I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Lord Jesus, we're starting another year and kind of wonder what happened to 2023. I just want to thank you for your goodness and your grace that's been given to us in the past year, and we humbly ask that your faithfulness will continue into this year. Open our eyes and our hearts that we might be able to see the world a little bit as you see it. As board members, we want our time spent here to be more than just budgets and paying bills. There's a world of hurt out there in the lives of many of our students. And I'm sure people, they're involved with them every day, like Mike and Tanya, they see this. Help us to come alongside them, to bring encouragement, to bring hope of a future, and to share the truth that you have that brings life. And we just give you praise for all that you've done and rest in your sufficiency for the days ahead. Amen. Amen. All right. Future board meetings. The 23rd, we'll also have a regular meeting, but we'll also have a Board of Finance meeting at that time. February 13th and 27th are two meetings that follow after that. Revisions of the agenda, I think we have one additional donation and then another item to new business for a field trip. Public recognition. This evening, we have a recommendation to approve a $3,850 donation, and that would be from the Bowen Center, $150, Friar Mead Tire and Alignment, $150, Thorn Insurance, $150, Brown Barn Metalworks, $500, France Lumber, $500, True Land Equipment, $500, FJ Reddick and Sons, also $150, and Shepherd Chevrolet, $500. Then we have Ranger Snow Removal at $150, George and Terry Eckert, $150, and we True Land twice. Okay, second time around, $500. That's all for the county attorney that was held at Northfield Junior Senior High School. We also have a $500 donation being recommended for approval from Flowtech Plumbing and Heating. I'm sorry, that's $500. It includes $200 from Flowtech Plumbing and Heating. Gephardt Holdings would be $300 of that, all for Northfield Wrestling. And then third, we have a recommendation to approve a $174 donation from 3 anonymous donors, and also Karen Gonzalez, Alex Altman, LJ Chesterman, Alexandria Richards, and this would be for Mrs. Cassie Harold's Little North Pre-K 4 classroom, which is at Metro North, and it's for something called Just Right Seating at the instructional table. And then finally, we have a recommendation to approve $250 donation from Grow Wabash County for Metro North Robotics. So we appreciate all of that.
I move to accept all the donations.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve donations. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. School of recognition, students and staff. Mr. Keybaber.
Thank you. So as you know, we this year have been doing the spotlight a little bit different. We are spotlighting our actual teacher of the year and staff of the year. On the agenda, you can see that we have also Bridge Director Tanya Boone for Carrick Whiff. There was an illness that came up, and so they're not going to be here tonight. But we do have Mr. McDivitt here as principal, and our staff of the year at White Junior Senior High is Shelly Sarl. So Shelly, if you can come up here. She's sporting her Michigan national championship last night. So anyway, we can talk about that a little bit. So first of all, we do know that First Farmers Bank and Trust, they actually sponsor our Spotlight program, and so she will get a $50 voucher. So we'll have to talk about that a little bit because that might be a little bit different for how that works. So we'll talk about that if we need to. We'll figure it out. One thing, what happens too is we have all of the staff of the year, the 6 different schools, they basically, to find out who the district winner is, we actually ask them to say why they love their job and different things like that, give a little bit of a narrative about what they've done in the past. And one thing I just want to read, I won't read everything to you that she wrote, but I thought this was the greatest part of it. It says, this is just part of it, in part, it is my greatest joy to show people that they are valuable, that they matter, that despite the circumstances and situations students, staff, parents are in or have been in, there is hope and they are loved. I choose every day to be genuine, to be sincere, to show I care, to laugh, to encourage, to love, to show love, to give grace, and to give hope. And actually, knowing that she is at White's Junior Senior High School, we should do that at all of our schools, which I know we do, but that is even more important, even like Mr. Bowman said in his prayer tonight about what they see and the hurt that they have. And so it's great that the job that you do, where you see all the students, that you do all that. So we really appreciate that. And also want to let Mr. McDivitt share anything about.
It is remarkable, based upon both what Kevin prayed and what Shelley wrote about herself. That's exactly what I would say about Shelley. So everybody here knows the role of the school secretary, and carries multiple hats. But at our school, students are being called in and out of school throughout the day to go to therapy for different appointments and whatnot. So Shelley is always interacting with our students on a regular basis. And what I would say about Shelley, what she wrote about what she loves about the job, that comes through in every interaction she has with kids. So there are sometimes Shelley demonstrates, and this is what grace is, there's sometimes Shelley demonstrates love when they probably don't deserve it, but she extends it anyway, and she does a beautiful job running the front desk. And there's no question that when the kids come through, Shelley is going to, in a very small way that we can as people, give them just a little bit of hope. That's exactly what she does. And she has basically a dad joke of the week that some of the kids really look forward to reading, and so some of the small things she do that can make a big difference. I personally like the dad jokes too, so.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And I know that when I go, I see that also. And I don't know if this is stuck or not, but what Mr. McDivitt said, it used to be that position right there. They were like the airline traffic controller. I don't know if that's ever been said, but she controls where all the kids go and all the different places with all the different therapy, with all the different appointments and all the different things that they do. And so you have to be a very special person to be able to do all that, and we appreciate that. Do you have anything you'd like to say? We'd like to keep it down to under 20 minutes.
I do, I really love my job. People had residential, because I worked residential years ago, but they're like, you need to come back. I've had that said recently, you should come back because you do a really good job with kids. I'm good right here. I really, really do like what I do. So, yeah.
So thank you for doing all that. Let's give her one more round of applause.
Can I say something about that other thing?
Yes, you can do that now, but Shelley, if she wants to hear that, or she can go ahead and leave now, that's how we typically do it, so it's up to you. So, Mr. McDivitt, you're on.
Mr. Drake asked me to share this with you. It's a perfect time to do it. So this past fall, we applied for a grant from the state of Indiana to basically, we had different options, but we chose the option of Conmigo, which is an artificial intelligence tutor. We actually had our first training on it today. We'll get one more training on it tomorrow. We had no idea if we'd get the grant, but we were blessed with one. And so our attitude simply is, let's try to learn the best we can what this can do. And we have a year to play with it. And so we're looking forward to seeing how we can use it. So it'll be used both residentially, and Mrs. Boone and her staff will use it with the bridge kids as well. And so we're looking forward to that. So we'll keep you up to date.
Okay, thank you. I have a couple other things here that were given to me that I want to share. First of all, from Mrs. Lewis at Southwood, says congratulations to Southwood Senior Randy Boone for being selected as the recipient of the Ford Family Community Scholarship. The Ford Scholarship is a full tuition, full year scholarship awarded to a Wabash County high school student who has been actively involved in the betterment of Wabash County through extracurricular activities, volunteer service, and participation in community events. Randy is an outstanding leader and role model whose strong leadership and advocacy skills are evident in the academic, athletic, and community arenas. Randy plans to attend Indiana Wesleyan University and major in pre-occupational physical therapy. And so this Ford Family Scholarship, Community Scholarship is really very similar to the Lilly Scholarship. It's full ride for tuition, plus there's actually some monies for, I think, $1,000 a year for books. I asked him to be here tonight so we could honor him. He's playing basketball at Oak Hill tonight, and so we're hoping to have him come maybe a little late on January 23rd at our next meeting so that we can just honor him in front of the school board. So I wanted to mention that. Also, I want to mention Mr. Snyder at Northfield. I will say that I'm going to read all this. This was given to me, but when I read this, I'm not going to give any names because one of our coaches was highly praised, but the other coach during that particular game was not. So you'll hear it when I read this, okay? Northfield High School varsity basketball girls coach Hillary Ellsroth received an exemplary behavior report from IHSAA official Greg Finley from the NHS game on 12/16. Mr. Finley said that he would like to commend the varsity girls basketball coach at Northfield High School. Hillary Ellsroth was a very sharp and clear contrast to her counterpart for the opposing team, while the opposing team's coach whined the entire game, yelled across the court, to throw their arms into the air and loudly complained about nearly every call throughout the game. The exact opposite was seen from Coach Ellsroth. She remained very professional and coached her team rather than yelling at us all night. She did have a couple of calls that she disagreed with, but she quietly let us know her concerns and we moved on. It could not have been a sharper contrast in styles. Thank you, Coach Ellsroth, for a very fun game. Congratulations on the victory. And probably all of us who've coached different things might have been on that other side too at one time or another, but at least in that time, Coach Ellsroth did a great job and it was a good contrast. So just wanted to share that. And I have one other thing I want to share for the school board. I did share this with them in an update, but the January is School Board Appreciation Month. And that is really unbelievable because the reason why is because usually you only get a day. All right. Most things are a day, but this is for the whole month. All right. And so I do really appreciate them. I think we all have around the table here, have a great relationship to work together. And so I just have a little certificate that I put together. And actually Terry Spradlin from the Indiana School Boards Association also signed it, but I signed it. It says, thank you for your dedication. The Metropolitan School District of Wabash County and the Indiana School Boards Association are pleased to recognize the school board service of, and I have one for each of you with your name, your positive contributions, leadership, and tireless commitment on behalf of our students, staff, and community are truly inspiring. We thank you for making a difference for public education. And I know sometimes I joke a little too much, but I do really, really appreciate working with all of you. And so, Mr. Kevin Bowman.
Thank you.
Mr. Jeff Porter, Mr. Christian Rosine, Mr. Matt Driscoll, and Mr. Scott Halbert. So let's give them a round of applause. What was that? All right, so those are the recognitions I want to share tonight.
No, thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that all you?
I think that's all I have tonight.
Okay, next we have a presentation from Verkada.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Aaron,
So
you
yeah,
wanna
so I
introduce?
can, yeah, it's Aaron Hayden, and I brought Verkada in today to do a presentation for you guys. We did a presentation for the principals and administration and our SROs shortly before Christmas, and we've been impressed with their product, and we want to move forward with that project. It's a high dollar project over a long period of time, and we can discuss those details after the presentation, but we feel like their product is second to none, and we're really impressed with what they can do. And so I had John fly in from Arizona, unfortunately on a very cold day from Arizona. But anyways, he's going to do a short presentation on just the power and the AI features and what all the system can do. It's important to remember this is going to replace about 4 of our current systems that are all segmented, and so we're going to bring that all into one platform and kind of unify all these systems under one roof. And so I'll let him take it away.
Yeah, thanks guys. Aaron, thank you for the intro. Everybody here on the board, thanks for allowing me to come here and present. A little bit more backstory about Verkada. We are founded in 2016, have about 2,000 employees now. We're looking to have 2,500 by the end of this year. We are in Series D. of our funding. We just received another 100 million, making us to about 460 million total in funding. We have 13 offices worldwide, and we are continuing to grow at a high speed. Jumping into our platform, as Aaron mentioned, it is going to streamline all of your operations. A great comparison I like to give is Apple. They have, your MacBook, the TV, your phone, your watch, but they all talk to one another. You get a message on your phone, it shows up on your watch. You want to raise the volume somewhere, they all talk. And I'm going to show you how we do that with security. So on this page right here, this is what it would look like for you as an end user. This is going to showcase all of your different cameras throughout your site. And if you have multiple different sites, you can easily go here and you'll be able to actually look and filter through each and every location. So if there is a gymnasium or a, different elementary school, you want to filter throughout the different schools, you can easily do that here. One of the really cool features that we have to offer, when I jump into this here, you'll see the live camera quality. All of our cameras record in HD. And what you'll be able to see is if you have a date, time, it's really easy to find what you're looking for. So at Verkada, the quality is great, but we really focus on the usability. We want to make sure that as an end user, it's user friendly. So if I scroll through here, I'm able to look at history for the last 30 days. And if I have a specific time or date, I can easily click to that just by using this calendar tab here. If I wanted to narrow these clips down, I can go from 24 hours all the way down to 20 seconds, really narrowing down exactly what I'm looking for. Another really cool thing we have, if I go to the motion search here, what you'll be able to do is highlight a specific area. So if there was vandalism, theft, anything that may have gone or happened at your school, you could highlight the area in which it happened, or a student says, hey, somebody stole my backpack. I highlight this lunch table here. It'll disregard the entire surrounding areas, focusing on that highlighted area, and it's going to show you each and every single person that came in contact with that area. You can also do the same thing for vehicles in the parking lot. Right here, this isn't the greatest use case for that, but if there was an accident or an incident in the parking lot where a student bumped another student's car, or you wanted to see what possibly happened, you could highlight that specific area, go to our vehicles here, and they would then pop up. I highlighted the ground. It's going to sit here and load forever and ever and ever because there are no vehicles on the ground. But just trying to give you guys an example of how you guys would use it in your use case. Going here to our people search, we use AI analytics to search based off the attributes of an individual. So if there's a neighboring school, a sporting event, something goes on and there's a altercation, let's say a physical altercation that occurs. We don't know who's all involved, but we know that one of them had on a red shirt and they appeared to be a male, and they also had a backpack. These are all the different types of searches we can do. We can also do what colored pants they're wearing, etc. So now as I scroll down, I'm able to see every single person across my cameras that matches that description I just put up. I can also do the same thing for face searches. And what this is our cameras will pick up each and every face that walks in front of it, saves it in our database, and you can actually go back. If this woman here is somebody that we don't want at our facility, not only when I click onto her face will it show me the history of her for the last 30 days. So if I see somebody and I'm like, oh, they committed a crime, they did something I didn't like, I can actually go back and see if maybe they did it before and I just didn't catch it. What I would then do from here is create a person of interest. This will then notify you in the future of this person arriving on campus. So if there is somebody that doesn't have access or shouldn't have access, custody battle, parent can't come pick up a kid, you can actually upload a photo of their face in here in the moment that they are picked up on the camera and they're not supposed to be there. The SRO will be notified or the respective technology personnel. You can also upload photos as well. It doesn't just have to be somebody that we caught. If you want to be proactive and we haven't caught them yet, we can actually upload a photo as well. And this can be a mugshot, social media picture, anything, and our cameras will save that face. You can also do everything that I'm showing you here on a mobile app as well. So you're not really stuck with having to be on site, having to be in a specific room. If you're out and about, you can get these alerts on your phone and do each and every feature I'm showing you now on your phone. Going into the vehicle search, just like with our people, we're able to search what type of car or the time, date, etc. So for today, I'll do a blue pickup truck. And now you'll see down below each and every single car that matches that description will populate down here below. So if there is a car that's driving reckless in the parking lots or hits a specific car and we know it's a blue truck, we can go back here and search, talk to the witness and say what car was the culprit. Lastly, our archive section, you can save unlimited amounts of data here in the cloud. We also have the ease of use to share clips out as well. All you will have to do is click the share button. It's almost as if you're sending a picture on an iPhone. And all I would have to do is type in somebody's phone number, email, etc., and it gives them access to exactly what I'm showing you here. Jumping over, just to show off the integration, that sums up our cameras. Jumping into the access control, this is what really separates us from everybody else. Everybody has cameras, everybody has doors, everybody can do a little bit of what we offer, but nobody brings it all together as one. When I click on the railroad kitchen door, what you're gonna see down below is I can actually go back a year with the access control. And the access control is gonna show each and every single person that badged in and out of your facility, as well as how they did it. For us right here, we have the remote unlock here. I can remotely unlock a door. I will click this button once it closes. And you'll see right there, my name pops up, John Ketchell, and this door is gonna swing open. If you have a guest or a visitor outside your facility, they're locked out and they just maybe forgot their card or don't have a key, you can easily buzz somebody in remotely with the click of a button. If you go here into the access levels, different levels of persona will be granted different levels of access. You know, C-suite level, superintendents, principals, maintenance will probably have access to the entire facility. You know, a volunteer employee has no business being in the IT closet. You can really customize who has access as well as to the specific schedules on these doors as well. So a good example is if you guys rent out any of your facilities and the gym or any other facility is supposed to be open from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., you can actually set a custom schedule here and be able to do that remotely. You don't have to go unlock the door for the local basketball team or volleyball team. You can actually set the schedule up from the comfort of your own home. Lastly, just to show you, you also have the ability to set up lockdowns. This is going to be really important for you guys at schools. In the event of an emergency or worst case scenario, you'll be able to set this up and you can determine what buildings are locked down, who can activate this lockdown, who can release this lockdown, and who's able to unlock these doors. Another thing that we can do is be alerted on these specific events. So I'm going to jump back in here and I'm going to go to all these different events. So you see unlock attempts, access granted, access rejected. My favorite that really shows off the integration with our cameras is tailgating. So what's tailgating? It's when Aaron buzzes in and lets his buddy Derek in behind him, but nobody here knows who Derek is. It's going to say Aaron Hayden, tailgating detective. He badged in, but you know, he let somebody else in with him. It'll also let you know when the door is wide open. If a student were to leave a rock, maybe leave the door propped, it'll let you know door is held open and it'll send those immediate alerts to the respective personnel. And you can fully customize who gets alerted, whether it's your SROs, secretaries, principals, assistant principals. Fully up to you guys, extremely customizable. Lastly, we have our guest and visitor management system and intercom system. What that will look like is somebody buzzing into your facility. It will then be a two-way talk down from me to the person outside, basically, hey, what do you want? Or if it's somebody familiar, oh, I know them, let me just buzz them in. Super easy, super simple. And with our guest and visitor management, you also have the ability to use local and national most wanted lists, local and national sex offender list, as well as Interpol. I don't think any Canadians are going to come down here and cause havoc, but we do the necessary precautions to have that. Just as an example here for our guest and visitor management, this is what it would look like if you've ever seen an iPad at a hospital or even a school. It's more than likely ours, and you can have unlimited amount of guest types, really be able to audit exactly who's coming in and out, and you can actually customize the questionnaires. It could be a field trip, it could be a substitute teacher. You have the ability to really make it your own, and I'll be there each and every step of the way. I'm really big on customer support. Verkada also has 24/7 support at all times. In the event that you do ever go through something, it's all in-house. 95% of all issues are actually solved remotely through this live chat. If we can't solve that issue, every single product that me, Aaron, and Derek spec'd out is under a 10-year product warranty. So we're not going to revisit the security conversation with the school board for 10 years from now. Each and every product that we have is locked in for 10 years. And that pretty much sums up all I have on Verkada. I really appreciate you guys listening, allowing me to talk about our company. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys would like to add a couple things.
Yeah, I'll add just a few things. One of the other cool features was on the cameras, we can do the same thing as we can do faces with people. We can do license plates and things like that. So if we had somebody with a particular VIN, or not VIN, but a particular license plate number that we didn't want on campus, that we could run that through there and get alerts on that as well. And then I brought Derek from Intersect in. So Verkada doesn't sell direct to customers. They sell to a third party, and then we buy it from them. So we have partnered with Intersect to get the bid for this particular product. So I had Derek attend as well. But one of the other cool features that I don't think we showed was, right now we have the Raptor system. I don't know if you guys have seen that at our buildings, but that's where we get the person's driver's license, they dip it, and it checks our patrons against the sex offenders database. But one of the nice features that this offers, like he said, it offers the sex offenders database, but it also offers a small background check, which I think is a step up from what we currently have. And so these four products that we're looking to replace are the cameras, for all the cameras in all the buildings, the outside terminal where you buzz in, the Raptor system, which does our visitor access and prints the badges, and we will also do the door access. So all of the keyless entry will all get revamped. The other cool thing too, if you can pull up real fast, is the map for the doors. This will give more availability of access for our principals and assistant principals and SROs. Some of our systems, especially like our keyless entry, the system is pretty old, and so there's not a lot of availability to give multiple people access. This will give everybody more access and more availability to see things. But we'll have a map of the building. You see the green is the cameras, and then the doors are there too. And if you would want to like unlock the door, you can just click it.
And with the integration of our cameras, each door that I click on, it'll automatically pull up the video context to every event. So if there is, access rejected, you click on it, you get video immediately. It's not, oh, this happened at 10:05. Now let me go to the cameras and go to 10:05. They all talk. So the moment you click on it, it'll automatically pop up. And another thing I want to highlight here on the floor plans here is when I click motion detection, this is one of the features a lot of schools that I've worked with really like, is when there's nobody supposed to be at your school and you are getting these alerts, whether it's a false alarm or a legitimate alarm, this motion detection will really allow you to see where motion is happening. So if there shouldn't be any motion and there's flashing everywhere, all I do is click into this event or click into that highlighted box here, and you will see the video context. I'll click on this one. It looks like there's some video or some vehicles here. Same thing with the doors as well. Click here just to easily disregard the cameras. You'll be able to see each and every door that we have set up with our Verkada system and which doors are unlocked. Like this one right here, you'll see the green unlock. That indicates that it's unlocked.
One of the other cool features as well is when someone signs into the visitor access, it gets their picture from the visitor access, and then you could look if Johnny's mom came in and she was supposed to only go to the cafeteria to eat with her son, and you have suspicion that she may have went somewhere that she probably shouldn't have, you could just say, hey, tell me all the places that she went, and it'll give you the video. And I don't think it was completely evident when you were showing the searches on there, but it'll search all the cameras. It won't just search one. And so I think one of the other big reasons that this product is really nice for the principals, assistant principals, and SROs is it'll save a ton of time of looking through camera footage. Right now, they spend a lot of time looking through footage, trying to find things. The search features and the AI features should help eliminate a lot of that time, kind of watching footage. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron. And I know it was a lot of info, so feel free to ask as many questions as you'd like.
Who owns the information? I mean, these pictures are all taken. Where's it loaded to? Who's got it?
Yeah, so Verkada is partnered with AWS. I don't have access to, and that's Amazon Web Services. The school is fully encrypted in the sense that I, as a Verkada employee, do not have access. What I'm showing you right now is our headquarters. I'm an employee at Verkada. They granted me access. The CEO of Verkada said John Ketchel has access here. In order for me or anybody to have access, they have to be an admin. And to answer your question, our data is stored with Amazon Web Services, but me as the manufacturer does not have access to your footage, nor does anybody else. We are fully encrypted with AES 256 and AES 128, which are government level encryptions in regards to our data processing.
Who can access it besides the school? I mean, say law enforcement comes in and they want, do they get an automatic?
They don't get it automatic. Now,
they have a
we
warrant,
could,
whatever?
if we had a partnership with dispatch, or if we wanted to have that, we could grant access to anybody that we would want to do that with. But no, they don't automatically have it unless they're, unless we deem it necessary. But in the event of an emergency, and if we needed to grant immediate access to somebody, that it's all web-based, and so anywhere that somebody has a cell phone or internet, they can get in and see that. So if that's the way you're going with that.
Well, yeah, I was thinking, say you have an unfortunate event, does law enforcement have to come here to see that?
No.
Or are they going to be able to access it?
The nice part about this being in the cloud versus the current systems that we have is that the way you access and use the system at your house is the same way you access the system from at school. It doesn't change.
And to piggyback on that answer is it's a live event that's ongoing. It's, worst case scenario per se. If I wanted to share that clip out right now, this is live. Forgive me for that. If I wanted to share this, all I would do was click that share button, similar to like a message, and type in the individual's number. And if anybody here is interested in just seeing how the functionalities work and wants to provide a cell number, I'll type it in right now, and you'll be able to actually pull up exactly what I'm seeing on my computer here. And you'll see here it says access to live video or access to all videos. And I can actually determine whether it's an hour, a day, a week, and edit that. And if I were to send it to law enforcement for, a week just to be safe, or, a couple hours, and the issue was resolved.
You have a time limit on how long that person has access.
You're not locked into that time limit. You're able to revoke access at any time. So if I gave, everybody here access for 3 weeks, and then I said, you know what, you guys don't deserve access, which you guys would still be able to, but I could revoke that. I have the authority to pull that away, and you guys do as well.
Okay, you said car plates. Cameras in the past, it's always just a fuzzy person. Are these going to be good enough to catch the person going through the toll booth? Because I always get a bill from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah, car plate, it depends for license plates. License plates are tricky because of how fast it is, but from what I've seen, it's good.
Was the question directly related to
License plates?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It said something about license plates you could search for.
So let me pull that up and I'll be able to talk to it as well. So when I go here and click into vehicles, not only will it show each and every license plate, but it'll show how frequently they've been seen in the last 30 days. And as he mentioned, they have license plates of interest, just like the people. So if a certain license plate comes up, something you uploaded or saved, you'll be notified. And in regards to the actual functionality, our LPR cameras, license plate recognition, one camera will be able to determine 3 different lanes of traffic going up to 80 miles an hour at 90% accuracy. Which, if someone's going 80 miles an hour in the school parking lot, I hope not. But that's what we did. We actually went to a racetrack and tested it out with cars going extremely high speeds. And in order for us to reach 90+% accuracy, 80 miles an hour is the threshold.
So you place these cameras strategically to catch those things, and obviously if you're catching a license plate, you gotta have it out.
We're not specifically looking, all we're looking to do with this project is replace the current systems that we have. So we're not putting up any new cameras. Like, these are all new cameras, but we're replacing the cameras that we currently have. Now, we have the option to expand if we need more cameras in the future, but I believe we have like 136 cameras in our school district.
I was wondering how many we had, Aaron, and how many this will,
I think,
what they wanted to get saturation level.
yeah,
Take.
and some of that too, yeah, we usually we've added cameras every year. I think,
When I started,
Yeah.
we had 5 cameras at Southwood, and they were black and white, and they were grainy, and you could be lucky to tell that a person was there, unless they were right up on the camera. And so we've vastly expanded that. When he talks about the cameras in the district, though, this does not include cameras that we have on buses.
that's true. But yeah, we are looking at that as a separate project. But yeah, we have a lot. I think we're gonna reduce our amount of cameras with this project to, I think, 128, but that's only because some of the hallways they have a camera that has 4 lenses. And so we had 4 cameras in those areas, so we were able to reduce that to technically 1 camera instead.
Curious question, are there
Sure.
any cameras in the classrooms now?
No, we do not have any cameras. Well, unless you consider PE.
Jim?
Yeah.
So any responding officer that came in would have live access to anything that was going on. If he's granted permission by the admin.
Yep.
So he could actively be walking through the school, watching something unfold as he's headed that direction.
Correct. He could be in the car with his deputy or assistant. The assistant could be physically watching while another police officer is driving 100 miles an hour to get there.
I think that coupled with, we did the intercom system, from Roland a couple of years back with the lights. You guys have seen the lights in the hallways, for the people checking in and that. I think, our physical security posture of the school district would be vastly superior to, what we've had in the past, just with all these things combined.
Is there a reason we don't have cameras in classrooms?
I would say, I would let Mike answer that one.
Yeah. Number one, we have a lot of classrooms. And there are some legalities to some of that and some things both ways. And so we have checked in on some different things when we talked about, someone was asking about like library, for example. So there are possibilities of doing that, but you do have to work through some legalities of everything. So.
I think to, just to speak to the 10-year deal, we looked at the pricing for the 5-year deal, which ended up being, I'm gonna round the numbers, about 428K. And then to expand that to a 10-year deal, it was the 552. And so at those prices, we really felt like the 10-year was a better use of resources.
How's that payment made then?
That would actually be Derek, because we work with Intersect. So Intersect,
But is it all paid now, or is it over the years then, or?
no, yes, it would be mostly upfront. A lot of it would be, the hardware portion would be upfront, and then we would pay a portion after it was finished, so.
Yeah, so basically on our payment terms, we have 50% down up front, which covers the hardware costs, the licensing, things of that nature. And then we have 35% that's due at hardware delivery. So that would be at the point of when we come to do the install. And then the remainder 15% would be at project closure.
We looked at financing options, but they really weren't feasible as far as the interest on them.
So if something happened to Verkada, this would be a standalone system that would still keep on going if financially something.
Yeah, obviously, I'm confident where we're headed and where we are currently. But in the event that Verkada does disassemble and is not a company in 5 years from now, our current setup right now is all about security. We're closed and encrypted. In the event that that happens, we would open up our encryptions and allow you to operate our cameras using a different software and provider. So you aren't just stuck with 128 bricks just sitting around with no return on investment. We would then open up our encryptions and allow other companies to then utilize our features, software, hardware, etc. But right now we're closed and have everything under one umbrella because nobody else can.
So is your system hackable? Can they hack it?
At this point, I mean, to say, we had a breach in 2021, but since then we've had the highest amount of growth and definitely changed what caused that breach. We have not been hacked since. We work with numerous Fortune 500 companies, and in today's day and age, I don't want to say anything's unhackable, but our clearance is government level, and we're doing everything in our power to ensure safety, not only for the data, but just for everybody that's an end user with our 20,000 plus customers worldwide.
And I would say, I would add to that, as secure as we make things here, and as much as we try, that's gonna be far more secure than anything that we would be able to offer here at the school district.
Just what scares me is anything that's tied to the World Wide Web. Anybody that can break into it can break into our system.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so we're exposed to whoever's out there.
Mhm.
And so then we're, I guess, exposed to that.
And then,
You know, they could say, lock down the schools, don't let the kids out. You know, they could just do that across whatever system that is. And so-
Well, yeah,
But they
the lockdown will always let people out, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yes,
Yeah.
but that is true about I mean,
Our
as good as our systems
All of
are.
our systems do with
Can be
Skyward,
hackable.
yeah, all of our.
So
things.
Skyward now, our
Any of our
system, I
systems
thought our
that we
system
run
was.
here could be.
Skyward's hosted as well. They're
Yes.
hosted by, Skyward's hosted by
I'm
us.
talking about our security
Email
system.
is, email's hosted by, Gmail. We have a lot of systems that are hosted outside of our actual premise,
But our
but
security systems outside.
we have our security systems inside.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as much as I can offer to protect the school district, their resources are a lot more vast than what we can, so.
The cloud emphasis is really only for the remote viewing. Verkada is a hybrid cloud, emphasis on hybrid, because each and every single camera has a built-in storage, onboard storage. Same thing with our doors. Our guest and visitor management is just an iPad. That's the only thing you need, and a printer. There's no, badge scanner. You scan the iPad on the camera on the iPad, and you're good to go.
One of the other cool features too is, say, internet connectivity went down out of sight. So all the cameras have SD cards, so they will continue to record. And then you can go pull that SD card, or if internet connectivity is restored, it will then upload all the stuff. And those SD cards will record what?
30 days.
30 days.
At 24/7.
How about the entry points, badge readers, are those, if the internet goes down?
Yeah,
Those
those
will
still
continue to
work.
operate.
Mhm, yeah.
Everything will continue to operate on the last downloaded configuration. If there's no power, our doors will actually still work, because in the event of a power outage or something goes on, we don't want you guys locked in your facility. We have built-in battery backups for all our doors. Cameras, there isn't a camera that we offer that will record without power. But as you mentioned, if internet goes down, there's power. Our cameras record 24/7 at 24 frames per second HD. You will not miss what's going on in your facility at all, as long as there's power.
I got a simple question.
Yeah.
You spend $552,000, what do you, additional expenses over the next 10 years, what are we gonna have above and beyond the 552,000?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So the beauty of Verkada is there is none, unless you want to expand. If you want more cameras or want to open up another school, but with that 10-year license that Aaron is wanting to move forward with, it includes all software, maintenance, etc. Unless, the install with Derek, there may be a one-off here and there, but from the Verkada side, there's no hidden fees, there's no hidden subscription cost. Everything is upfront and crystal clear. And as I prefaced it earlier, the goal is to not revisit this security conversation until 10 years from now. There is what you guys pay on day one is what you're going to pay for the entirety of the next 10 years, unless there's more that's needed.
So there's some present day value being brought into that pricing point, right? In other words, we're talking 10 years out.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
So most of the investment up front is hardware, correct?
That-
You'd
yeah.
say 80% maybe? or-
Yeah.
That's, yeah, probably fair.
The other thing too is, with different things happening with our schools, you know, in the next couple of years, all of the product, we can move from one school to another. So nothing will be lost with that, with the new projects that are coming up.
So you can take from Sharp Creek and go over to that other.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
I was gonna say that would be nonsense to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes. Yeah, so our vision would be to move that.
But you're paying to have it moved?
No, well, probably not. We probably wouldn't need to, because as part of those projects, all those wires are gonna get ran. So it will physically be moving one camera from one location to another. So I would say if there is any cost with that, probably it'd be very minimal. It'd just be moving it. But yeah, so nothing will be lost.
Well, I'm just thinking through this business model, because ultimately you own the licensing.
Mhm.
And you could shut the whole thing down.
When you say I can shut the whole thing down,
You could make it inoperable, yes or no?
no, I don't have that authority to do that now.
Who designs it then?
Who designs Verkada?
Who designs our setup?
Oh,
That
Derek.
same person could be the one that can tear it down.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Derek and Aaron, yeah. these
Yeah,
two.
and we're gonna do a lot of the configuration and stuff in-house. And so we'll work with, we partner with Intersect for some other bigger projects, but yeah, I'm very confident with our local partner, and what they can provide, but yeah. So they're selling their stuff to Derek, and then Derek and his team at Intersect are gonna do the install.
How durable are these cameras and such?
Yeah.
Because vandalism is gonna be part of it.
Yeah, 100%. So our cameras are IK10 rated, which is the highest against vandal. It takes about 20 joules for it to drop. And all the outdoor cameras as well are IP67, which is good against heavy rains, waterproof, and can actually withstand up to -40 degrees. So in the event of anything crazy with weather, that's also another question I'm commonly asked with our warranty. What does it all entail? We will have your back for acts of God per se. If anything were to happen, you know, we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of.
I'm just curious, AI's been mentioned several times. No one can afford to watch all the hallways and all the cameras at one time. So in development, there's going to be intelligence to watch this to say, okay, we've got a fight going on in this hallway, and then the SRO's alerted.
No, we do not have a fighting reading technology. What we do have is the ability to set alerts up during specific times. So if, you know, school is in session and you want to be alerted if there's motion present in the hallways, we could set that up specifically for a specific area or for all the areas for a specific time. If, you know, the hallways are open to the school during passing periods, we could turn the settings off then because there is a lot of motion and stuff being present. But once class is in session, we could turn it back on to say, hey, we want to be alerted when students are walking in and out of the hallways or there's any motion being present. We can also set up a invisible line per se over a door or over a specific area, which will then let you know if someone crosses that. If it's a place where there shouldn't be any entrance or anybody, no trespassing in this specific area, the moment somebody just enters or crosses that line, the respected parties will be alerted. And I would assume it's an SRO or multiple SROs if you guys have.
Questions? No, we appreciate it, John.
No, I really appreciate you guys allowing me to come here. It was great to see all of you. Mike, I know I've seen a couple of you guys before, but great to meet you guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. You guys are welcome to stay, but you're welcome to leave too if you'd like. So we're going to continue on with our meeting. So
Arizona awaits, huh?
I've lived in the Midwest a good amount of my life, so I don't mind it here at all.
All right, any, public comment on agenda items this evening? If not, we'll move on to approval of minutes from the prior meeting on the 12th of December.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve minutes from December 12th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, claims and payroll.
Two payrolls.
So we had a long list of claims too. Questions?
The one payroll's quite a bit higher than the other one, so coaches and so.
Were we talking about claims or payroll?
Payroll.
We, any order.
You asked a question about payroll.
Sorry.
One's a lot higher than the other.
Which one was that one?
That would have been number 11. That was,
Yes, that would be coaches. And that would have been the tag money
the
too.
tag money too.
That would have been a big one.
Kind of assume that.
Are we finally done with Southwood Elementary roof?
Yes.
Okay, but it just seems like every time we're like, oh, we're done with it. All right.
No, that was our last
That's the
payment.
last.
That was
At least
the major part of it was
for 1 year.
the major part of it was the retainage that we have to hold.
All right, motion to approve claims.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we'll group payroll 11 and 12 together for approval.
So moved.
Second.
That last payroll, that's gonna mirror more
Oh,
of a calmer time. So,
approval for 11 and 12. We had, we had that carried. So financial summary.
yeah, so, I gave you some documents to look over. The first one is end of the month. So obviously this is also end of the calendar year, so where our end balances fall at the end of the budget cycle for 2023.
That cash position that, Chris, our investment effort, is it adequate or for
So,
those dollars? I just, in my mind, I'm thinking treasuries or something, or
yeah.
something that's liquid though.
So right now, what we're getting off of interest in our bank is just about as good as any treasury account would be at this point. One thing that, and we've talked about this in previous meetings, at our Board of Finance meetings, is that we don't have an investment policy. And so if we really want to get into doing some of those types of activities, we're gonna have to develop an investment policy, because we don't have one. And so, but right now, like I said, the interest that we're earning from the bank is just as good as anything that would be put into some type of investment. We're getting 5%, over 5%.
And that's some kind of freedom CD or something?
It's just based off of what's in our banks, through the bank. And so we're not our money's not tied into anything.
Well, you do such a great job of predicting the cash flow. I thought with certainty you could say, okay, we can pull out those dollars. But it's good to hear the return's that high.
The return has been very good. And when we talk about that at the next board meeting for our Board of Finance, I mean, it's the best it's probably ever been.
30, 40 years.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, 30, 40 years ago, it was high too.
But with our cash balances and that investment, I mean, we're making pretty good interest money.
No, just trying to be stewards of it all.
Yeah.
Any questions there on any of the you wanted to do?
No, I didn't want to go into detail a whole lot. The other stuff is more of a breakdown of those funds, specifically the education and operation fund, just something for you to look at. It just kind of lays out the year and how those balances came about. It'll lay out a little bit more specifics as far as how our budget turned out in relation to our expenses and revenues and our appropriations throughout the year, and some comparisons to that from year to year. So I don't want to go over this in detail. This is something for you to look over, digest, and if you have questions, we can discuss some of those things. But primarily, this breaks it down to specifics in our two bigger funds, which is the Education Operations Fund. And so,
Reviewing all this, I had a quick question, and I could be confused, but did you pull out a small amount of rainy day funds when you transferred from education to operations? Okay.
no. We've spent very little in our rainy day fund this past year.
It was only like 20,000 or something.
Yeah, some of that was based off of like the tag stipends that we did that weren't related to tag, to other personnel.
All right, any other questions? We'll move on to HR. This evening, we have resignations of Tiffany Taylor, custodian, Ashley Harris, a cook, Jessica Brewer, a teacher. Employment, we have Kristen Tackett, bus driver, Jennifer Nestler, paraprofessional. We have 3 leaves, 169, 170, and 171. You can see the dates there.
And just to let you know on the leaves, 2 of them are medical, I guess the other one is maternity, so. Those are-
I'll move to approve HR.
Second.
All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matt, anything from Heartland?
Oh, real quick, we had our basic meeting, we paid all the bills and such, but we talked about donations and stuff in our meeting here, and there's a lot of them. Owens Corning, they had some leftover monitors that they were changing. They gave us 33 monitors that are all going to be used in the business part over there. Dilling Group, Southwood grad, I think his name's Johnny Jones, donated a bunch of welding rods for the welding. Wayne Pipe donated all the copper piping and tubing to run the CO2 lines at Heartland, which is a $13,000 thing. And Mike Hendricks, a box of in mills for working the machine shop and stuff like that. So they get a lot of people to donate over there. CDL update, they have 12 students enrolled in the CDL that qualify for that this year, so.
That's a great program.
Yeah, and kids have to qualify for that. They go through a certain step, so they have to all of them qualify. And then I'll have a meeting with the superintendent this Friday, right?
Yes.
And we'll do some arm wrestling about paying bills.
All right, superintendent report.
Yeah, I just have a couple of things and I want to go quickly over, just want to do the state of MSD just quickly, but also just want to share a couple of things. You know, the projects are going on well as far as on time with the locker room, weight room is phase 2, but all the locker room, I did send you a picture. I was going to maybe post a picture up here, but it's just a big room that's all tore up, right? So, and they actually now have a new one that I just got yesterday or whenever. They have a big hole in one of the hallways there, or one of the, into a locker room, and they're starting to tear out all the concrete, and it was nice thick concrete. It wasn't going to crack. It probably did crack, but it was really thick. So want to share that. And unfortunately, our streak with our no delays, no cancellations occurred today, and unfortunately, it was just like a 2 or 3 hour period. If we would have had that 2 or 3 hours earlier or 2 or 3 hours later, it would have been okay. It was just bad timing because it was very, very slick and slushy this morning. But it didn't last very long, and we knew that. But anyway, that was that. So, but just to share a little bit here, it's interesting to go back. When I do this, it's fun because I look at my board updates, I look at the school board meetings, And I also look at all of the different recognitions and things like that, and kind of do some different highlights here. Of course, in January, last year, new school board members Jeff Porter and re-elected board member Matt Driscoll. Voice of America essay contest, we had a district winner. Of course, we now have in our possession an Emmy Southwood from Mike Doc Emmerich. We had a girls wrestling, the state champion individual, also all state choir individuals. I basically take care of looking at the high schools and not necessarily junior high and elementaries on that. So when you see that, because otherwise I would be here a long, long time and you'd have a lot to read. But anyway, also all the all-state honors choirs that we had in both schools. Also the national art competition with several awards in January, some highlights there too. We did introduce, and I know Mr. Drake did a lot with this, but Indiana College Core Certificate. So we do have that partnership with IUK and MSDWC. 51 students on ADM, up from September and February with that February count. Of course, we had Southwood girls basketball state champion or sectional champions. We had state qualifiers for band and choir. Indiana High School Coaches Association academic all-state winners. And in March, you can see robotics teams in the state finals. We had 17 teams with 92 students. We had all the academic recognition awards. Of course, Southwood boys basketball went to the state final. And they were runner-up. And also we had the Ray Craft Mental Attitude Award winner. That was a Southwood person. Sharp Creek teacher, Wabash County's greatest teacher. That was a Wabash Plain Dealer. Spring banner winners. We had the national gold medal winners to recognize in a ceremony at Carnegie Hall this summer, or that summer. Drama performances and great attendance because that's been on an increase. Senior trips are going to New York City, 8th grade to Washington, D.C. And as you know, we talk a lot about projects. And those are all the projects that are coming up and that we're doing right now. And in April, the family-friendly schools that were recognized by the IDOE, the school board presentation of the state runner-up championship medal from Southwood boys basketball. And then the seniors of Southwood went to Pigeon Forge. In May, transportation director, she did the inaugural test drive. A school bus event was held, kind of interesting. I thought I highlighted that one. Southwood went to Washington, D.C., the 8th grade art show at Spring Banner contest winners. We had 6 robotic teams that went to Vex World Robotics in Dallas, Texas. That passed the quality level 3, both Little Knights and Little Norse. And then all the boys and girls track. We had regional appearances for both individuals and relays in those different schools. In June, graduation of Ford Theater, of course, inaugural because of some different reasons, but all schools, and we felt like it was a great venue for that, so we're going to continue with that. Summer school, all the different trips, additional support for students. You can see the Southwood track student athletes recognized by the Indiana Association of Track and Cross Country, Southwood baseball sectional champions, boys golf regional appearance, the whole team. July, we went to the fair. In August, we started school. Former MSDWC teacher and Indiana Teacher of the Year, Tara gave the keynote address for our teachers and staff. New administration, Amber Lewis is principal at Southwood Junior Senior High School. Several work sessions, approved projects for 2024 and beyond. 2,008.5 college credits were earned in 22-23. In September, all the 7th graders going to Wabash River Defenders. That's probably about the only junior high one I had. Founders Day Parade we went to. We did the Rowan Parade. We had the international speaker, Thomas Blackwell, that came to one of our professional development days for all of our staff. And then the National Rural and Small Town Award from the College Board. In October, of course, we had increased ADM from September of 2022. The comparison there, the reason I put that in October is because it used to be in September, now it's in October. Students in all-state band and choir teacher contract approved with a starting salary of $45,000. You can see the cross-country at Northfield and Southwood boys and girls, the appearances there. The golf regional, going from the sectional and had a regional appearance, and then the wrestling regional appearance also for the Northwood boys. Winter Street banner contest, Southwood volleyball, of course, state champions. Tom Fennicle Volleyball Hall of Fame, and Shawnee Construction approved for the high school's locker room project. School board presentation of state championship medal, Southwood Volleyball, that was just last month. Randy Boone, Ford Family Community Scholarship. If you recall, in 2022, we actually had the Lilly and the Ford Family Community Scholarship. Wygan Construction, LLC, approved for the 2024 project. We won't normally put things like that, but it's a very large project that will take a good amount of time, a lot of effort from everybody. And throughout the year, several exemplary behavior reports, student athletes, and coaches. And in financials, Dr. Coons already talked about some of those, but donations throughout the whole year, we had $61,258.01. And then, of course, he had all those as far as the imbalance in January or December of the education operations and rainy day. And just reviewing, we have 4 priorities. We continue with these same priorities in our strategic plan. And this is a statement that we've used for several years now, but our goal is to continue to strengthen MSD amidst a changing environment and to sustain it for the many years to come. And 2024, here we are. So just a real quick, really a celebration of things that you've already heard if you've been to the meetings and different things like that, but it's just kind of fun to go back and look at all the things. And probably I could double, triple, and quadruple that with all the other things that are going on, but I wanted to highlight some of that. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Items in new business this evening, we have 5 with the addition of a 5th. First one would be a recommendation to approve budget reduction resolution.
Yeah, so that resolution is, we approved the 2024 budget back in October. We got our 1782 notice. For our debt service, we were still in that gray area when we did our budget hearing and budget adoption of what our debt service cost would actually be, because we were still going through the bonding process, so we had to fill it in with a number. And again, we had to pick a higher number, because if we picked a lower number and it came back higher, we wouldn't be able to get that. So we used a higher number. The 1782 notice came back, it lowered it to what it needed to be to get us where we wanted to be at our tax rate. And so that is, we just need to approve that reduction in our debt service to finalize our 2024 budget.
Do I have a motion for approval of the resolution?
So
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Second item would be recommendation to approve the local income tax distribution resolution.
Each year we got to determine where we're going to put our lit dollars. And so this is just a resolution determining that we will place those in our operations fund.
Move to accept.
Second?
Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Recommendation to approve the 2024 transfers from education fund to operations fund.
In one of the charts that I gave you, it showed you what our transfers were from education operations fund throughout the year. We came back and I think it was around just a little under 12% of what we're doing. By state law, we have to maintain it no more than 15%. So we're well under that. But each year we have to determine how much we're going to allocate as far as transfers are concerned from education operations fund. We always do a maximum amount not to exceed a certain threshold, and if we ever have to go over that threshold, then obviously that would take board action. But we are asking not to exceed $215,000 a month from education fund to operation fund. Again, that's to cover our costs when they change the funds over, to cover those education costs that got moved over into operations fund.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All right, item 4, recommendation to approve the resolution authorizing the treasurer to pay claims.
So our typical board meetings are the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month. That doesn't always happen because of other circumstances that may come up. There are some months where we only have 1 board meeting. This is just to allow us to continue to make our payments that we need to make so that we don't have any late charges on anything that's due. And then those all will continue to be approved at the following board meeting. But this is just to authorize us to make those payments when a board meeting is not in session during that time.
And just one clarification, not necessarily what Dr. Kuhn said, but what, we don't set our meetings until later in the spring for the 24-25 school year. So that was one thing we talked about in our cabinet meeting.
So move on the resolution.
All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the last item on the new business is recommendation to approve the overnight extended out-of-state field trip for Northfield Robotics team to create Foundation US Open Robotics Tournament. That's in Council Bluffs, Iowa, 13th to the 17th in March.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of approving the field trip, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. No unfinished business or board policies, public comment this evening from anyone? Keep it moving, Kevin. Items from the board?
Mike, thanks for putting up the total amount of donations. So
Yeah.
that's a big number.
Yeah,
We see a lot of it, but it's nice to see it added together.
yeah, it's huge. All right. After we adjourn, we'll open up for the reorganization meeting and do it very quickly. So we're adjourned.
That's what he's doing.
All right, I'll call it. I'll call to order the organization meeting for the coming year. I don't believe there's any revisions for the agenda. It's very simple. No oath of office to be given, so we'll move right on to new business, which would be the election of president. I'll open the floor up for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Scott Hopper.
I'll second that.
Motion and a nomination and a second for Scott Hopper to be president in 2024. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Vice president, we have nomination.
I'd like to nominate Christian Rosine.
Second?
All in favor of Christian being vice president, say aye.
Aye.
All right, there you go, Christian. Election of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Bowman.
I can do that.
Can you do that?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, here's one that everyone will run for, legislative liaison delegate to ISBA annual convention.
I nominate. Who's got the shortest straw?
Yeah.
Who's the newest guy?
I nominate Jeff Porter.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Say yes. All right, representative to Heartland Career Center Board of Managers.
Nominate Matt Driscoll.
Second.
All in favor of approving Matt, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. So appreciate it, Scott, you willing to take presidency. All right, we have a list of things that need approval in the organization of it, and I don't think it's a problem if we go down through the list and you make note of it, and then we'll approve it with one vote at the end.
You want me to start?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the list that's on the agenda. First of all, I recommend we approve the law office of Downs, Tandy, and Petrinu, PC, as attorneys at a rate of $200 per hour. So again, we'll wait till the end, and then we'll continue on. I recommend to appoint Dr. Chris Kuhn as corporate treasurer, and I also recommend Laura Bear as a deputy treasurer, and that the current bond of $200,000 be continued for each. Elementary bookkeepers, $10,000, and high school bookkeepers, $20,000 as per Indiana Code 20-41-1-6. The salary of board members is $2,000 with a per diem of $100 per attended regular school board meeting. The Heartland Career Center representative will receive an additional per diem of $25 per meeting attended, not to exceed 12 meetings. Of course, that is unless they make a change there. And the maximum salary cannot exceed $2,000, and that's just the salary, not the per diems. I also recommend the mileage rate for all school employees be the same as the amount in the current teacher master contract of 49 cents. Board scholarship, in the past you have done this, so hopefully you'll do it again. This tradition was started in 1994. Each board member contributes $200 annually towards two $500 scholarships, one each to Northfield Junior Senior, or Northfield Senior and a Southwood Senior. The board selects the recipients from the applications submitted each spring. I also recommend that the board appoint the superintendent of MSD Wabash County as the local education officer for the ensuing year with authority to file applications for federal funds on behalf of the school corporation. By law, we are required to place legal advertisements in our current newspaper or county newspaper. Man, contact or something. I recommend that you officially approve the Wabash Plain Dealer. And just, I want to make note of this officially too, that the Wabash Plain Dealer now is only printing on Thursdays, but on Saturdays, they will also have a new edition, but it will only be online for those people that subscribe to the newspaper. And so Dr. Coons already gave all of the legals and people that need to know that information when I shared that with him. I also recommend our continued participation with Wabash Miami Area Program and Heartland Career Center to facilitate better accountability with the State Board of Accounts and the Department of Education. And I recommend finally to approve the school board appointment of a non-voting member to the County Redevelopment Commission. Current member is Kevin Bowman, and recommend Mr. Bowman to continue with that appointment. So now.
Okay. So we have a list of their item 2 through 11 or 10. If that is all of it, there's no addition.
There's no other.
So any thoughts or questions on that? We'll go ahead and ask. If not, we'll take a motion to approve the entire list. This one.
Move to approve all those recommendations.
Second.
All right. Motion and second on the floor to approve all the needed items for reorganization in the coming year. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say aye. All right. Well, thank you. We're adjourned.
7.